Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday morning. Windy. We're so excited to welcome over 700 members now into our Awakened Parent community, and a big shout out to all the mums who often invite people into our group. And we've got a really special talk for you this morning. I am extremely excited to talk about this. Joe and I put together a video series about a mum who really thought she'd done everything right. She thought that she'd, provided for her kids. She had put a roof, there was a roof over their head. They were loved, they were cared for, they got to go to good schools, they had friends. There was healthy food on the dinner table each night, and they got to do sporting activities, and they were supported and celebrated through all their younger years. And she really, really felt like she was, she's doing really awesome. And yeah, I'm going to tell you that that particular mum was this woman, this amazing woman, standing next to me. And the video series is really an amazing dive into the challenges that she then faced when her children became teenagers. Now, I know we have some mums out there in the group that have teenagers, and I think a lot of you also spend time thinking about perhaps what the teenage years will be like, and how are you setting your children up now for the teenage years. And maybe you feel like you're doing everything right too, and it'll all be a breeze and everything will go well. And yes, maybe it will, but if you're interested in seeing what happened with Joe, then please see that series. Things coming in. So check it out. We're going to put a link to it in the comments, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes,
we
afterwards.
Are. Yes.
So tell us about how this
did you share that, like we did share the series with a couple of the mums in our group?
Yes, we did. We shared the series with a couple of mums, and yes, they were absolutely blown away by, Joe's courage and Joe's vulnerability and Joe's openness and willingness to really go and share everything that she'd been through. And of course, they resonated deeply with a lot of what she said, and the feedback we got about it was really, really encouraging and amazing, because we think it's an amazing message to put out there, but to have it come back to us from women we really care about that have been doing this inner work themselves. It's good to have a few distractions this morning, I think, Joe.
Get us out of our head.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really amazing, and thank you to those women who did watch the videos, and we're really excited to share the promo one with you in the comments. So tell us a little bit about Joe, who was getting everything right, and how she felt about herself back in the days when her children were small.
Yeah, so 3 little children, and yeah, I'm doing all those things Ilka just mentioned, and I actually think I'm doing a great job. I think I'm a good parent, and I even I remember when my kids, I used to take them to, well, lots of sport, but this one afternoon we're at futsal, which is indoor soccer. And I'm sitting next to a number of women with older children, and I'm in earshot of them, and I can hear them carrying on about their teenagers and saying how bad it is. Like, I'm hearing terms like the bitch from hell, can't wait till they leave home, I'll be happy when they go, or when he or she goes. They're mostly talking about individual kids. And the interesting thing that I was doing in my mind, I'm scoffing at them. I'm judging them, and I'm thinking they must be bad parents, like I'm better than them. They don't know what they're doing. I've got it all under control. I am never going to have that problem.
Yeah.
Not so, not so. That those thoughts, well, they came back and slapped me in the face, big time, big time.
Yeah, so you go into great detail in the video series that you can you can check that out. You go and click on the promo and then see, you can watch the full thing, and yeah, you go into great detail about what happened with your teenage son. Do you want to just touch on that a little bit? And the biggest part we want to really point out this morning is about self-responsibility, and how that's what we're really about in this group. And it just sounds like, you know, they're two small words, like self and responsibility, but they're the biggest words really in personal development and in parenting.
And that's the main driver for us making this video series, was to show the difference between blaming something else, someone else, something outside of ourselves, because that usually protects us from going to deep and painful feelings. So blaming someone else versus self-responsibility, and the courage it takes to go to self-responsibility, and the freedom that lies on the other side of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So with my son, in the teen years, so he begins to like rebel big time. He's not going to school. He's lying to me. He's off with his mates, smoking pot, drinking alcohol. I'm screaming at him when he comes home, and I know he's lying, and he tells me he's not lying, and I know that's a bigger lie, and I go into lecture mode, and he just listens stone-faced. He doesn't fight back. He's just silent, and go to his room, and then this cycle just replays itself over and over and over, and nothing changes. He doesn't change, I don't change. When inside my head I'm saying all he has to do is change his behavior so that I can feel better.
Yeah.
So I'm making it all about him and what he's doing, and staying away from my own feelings as much as possible.
Yeah, it's a good way to protect yourself, isn't it? It really is. And yeah, if you're new here, you might be noticing that yeah, you're doing this. I mean, we all do this. I did it for many years as well, and it's great. It's awesome. It really does protect you. So yeah, that is what. Do you want to say anything else about the video series?
Yeah, about the video series, about that time in my life. It took up so much of my energy and so much of my thinking space. Like there's no room for anything else. There's no room for creativity. There's no room for doing things that I enjoyed in life. I'm stopping myself from doing things that I consider now to be self-love. I am stopping all of that because I'm focusing all of my energy on this pain of needing my child to change so that I can feel better.
Yeah.
Now, gosh, now I can look back and I am grateful. I am thankful for the pain that I went through in those years, because I don't think I would have gone to like this big desire to change, to what was fix him in the beginning, if I hadn't had the driver of the big emotional pain. And if you watch the series, you'll see, you know, after taking him to a psychologist and trying to get him fixed without me looking at any of my own stuff, the biggest change came for me when I went to see an alternative healer, a practitioner, who listened to me spew out my story about my son, trying to make all the pain about him, and her suggesting that my challenges lay with what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, how I'm behaving in the world. And I was furious in those moments when she tried to flip the limelight away from my son and back onto me, and ask me about what was going on inside me. I get that how when you work with people, they, you know, sometimes some of them want to punch you, because that's really, there's so much deep seated suppressed emotion inside me, and I was so angry at her, but it was the beginning of amazing healing and
self-liberation.
Self-liberation, yes, yes.
Freedom. Yeah.
Freedom, but gosh, it takes courage in the beginning.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, that's why I was on a call with one of the mums yesterday, and I seriously, it's like I'm nearly in tears, happy tears, joyful tears at their courage and their vulnerability and their honesty, because it does take, you know, admitting things that you really don't want to admit. And we do talk about, you know, going back to some of the times in Jo's life, that's in the video series too, like what happened in her own teenage years that you hadn't even ever talked about with your own husband.
No.
You'd never even mentioned it to him.
Deep shame, and I kept secrets from everybody close to me. I couldn't face up to my own shame, and this is the pain with my son led me down a path of facing my own shame and guilt around behaviours in my own teenage years.
Yeah, and that really leads us back to the reason that we created this group, was because we would love that you start to do this work on yourself when your children are babies, when they're 1, when they're 2, because by the time they get to be teenagers, they won't, you know, you won't have this rude shock and awakening that Jo experienced when, you know, she really had been suppressing all those emotions and everything up until that point. And she didn't, you didn't know. You didn't know.
No idea.
No, we're totally unconscious to this. Like, this is my own opinion. I know there's many opinions out there about postnatal depression, but my opinion about that, given my own experience with that, is that when that first little baby comes into your life, you make a choice. You know, you know, that 3rd day blues, all of that stuff they talk about. To me, that is just a whole heap of your own suppressed emotions showing up, and there is, you know, stuff that you want to deal with. But I didn't face it back then. I just got on with living my life. I had lots of different challenges come up around the early childhood years, but I just got busy.
Yep.
And I got busy being a mum. I got busy like Jo, taking him to sport, doing all the things. I didn't look at myself. Like, I didn't want to look at myself. So it's a really, really brilliant video series, and I want to thank Jo again from the bottom of my heart, like many of the mums have done, for her courage in putting that story out there. It's not easy to do, because she's had to mention things like you know, even saying that she couldn't say things to her own husband. It's really big.
And
it's really, really big.
Thank you to you too, because like you asked me the questions, and no other interviewer could have recognised where I'm trying to skip over the detail, because the detail's too painful to go to. And and that's what I do often when I'm asked questions. But you know me well enough and know the work that I've done to have helped get me to the detail to help you guys see, you know, where the changes needed to be made.
Yeah, because again, we want to skip over the details, because again, in the details, it's where the deep triggers can come as well. So just for us both to do the video series, I know I look like I'm a deer in the headlights for the most of it, because we're both, it's just, it took us both a lot to create it and to get the story out there. But that's really what we want to show mostly, is how much self-responsibility you have to be able to turn the spotlight back. And, you know, even to use that word, spotlight. Oh, we can't have the spotlight on ourselves, can we?
No.
I mean, there's a lot of, you know, don't be too cocky, don't be selfish, don't be like this. That word pervades the woman's culture. Like, just give to everybody else. Don't look at yourself. Just give to your children, right? But even if you're doing that now when they're small, and that's a way of avoiding yourself, then you want to really start listening to some of our content. Listen to the interview that Joe and I did with Robert G. Smith. Start learning how you can make some deep changes in your life. And
one of our group members recently said how natural we look on camera, because it's really exciting to watch the growth of our members as well as they take on new challenges in their lives and step more and more and more into like who they really want to be in the world. And she's beginning to put herself on camera and on video, and she's recognizing how challenging that is. And she's saying, oh, you two, it looks like it's so easy and you're so natural. Well, this has been 7 years of solid inner work to get to this point of being this comfortable to stand here and talk about this deep, deep stuff with you guys, because we both know that we're here to help other people make change in their lives. And now we can both honour the challenges that we went through, because we know that without those, we wouldn't be able to understand you guys so well, and where you're coming from, and the pain of like saying some of the most shameful things out in the open, and have someone be with you in those moments and still accept you.
Yes. And it's such an honour, and someone helped me as well. But when I'm helping a lot of people, but someone had to help me first to be able to shift all of my own deep stuff, all of the memories, all of the things that caused me to live in a minor state of PTSD really my whole life. And I didn't know that. At the time, but that's really now I look back and see, that's the entire Western world and most of the Eastern world as well. Our lives are about protecting ourselves.
Yes, protecting ourselves in this ever-present fight, flight, freeze response. Our nervous system is on alert the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, again, we just encourage you so much to look into, if not us, find ways to look at yourselves and turn that spotlight back on yourself. Bugger what anyone says about that. Turn it back on yourself and start to see that you have all the power within you. All the answers are within you. You are the only one that can change you. And that sometimes is a fucking big thing to have to realize in the beginning, that you're the only one that can do it. Your husband can't do it for you. Your kids can't do it for you. You have to do it for you. So, and that again is just the most beautiful part about watching that video series, because you're going to see how Joe did do that, and she talks really openly about how painful that was, but then also the good news is the relationship that she has with her son now. And it's really, everything does change when you change what's going on inside of you. It does change.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And when you free your mind and your heart up from that fight, flight, freeze, creativity has space then.
Yeah.
And we get to do this amazing stuff together and trust one another, because where we were prior to 7 years ago, to be here and trust one another in what we do together is a huge thing. And I know I never could have done that with another human in the past.
Yes. Yeah, me too. I'm Miss Independent, do everything by myself. I got this shit sorted. Yeah, that was a program I used to run. Like, I don't need support. And yet, every part about me every now and again would say, I desperately need it. So, we can't hide from our programming. We can't hide from our conditioning. It catches up with us somehow, somewhere. And Joe and I were saying this morning that seriously, you are privileged and to have children to highlight your triggers. They are, as we always say, your greatest opportunity for healing. If you give Like, and it's not their job. It's definitely not their job. But if you can see it this way, if you can take it from this perspective, that every time your child triggers you, they're showing you something about yourself, some deep stuff about yourself, and they are, the word that went through my head is like gateway drug, but that's probably not the best way to describe your child. But they're the gateway. They're kind of like a gateway to understanding yourself.
The portal, the doorway.
The portal, that's
yeah.
better. The portal,
yeah.
The doorway, yeah. And by doing that, you're also showing them moving forward in their own lives how they can make changes too, because they see that I thought about this the other day actually. I thought, do you know what? All the time I've been tapping with mums, there's not really one child that ever comes along and tries to stop her. Yes, there are times when the child needs the mum's attention and we stop and the child wants something to be given to them, but the children see the changes and they know that this stuff is helping the mum. Because a lot of them start tapping on themselves.
Yes, they choose to tap along as well. And we've had mums send us videos of the kids just choosing to tap themselves, not when they've been encouraged by the mother, but they're going through something and they've chosen to tap. How cool is that?
And they'll often come up and give the mum a hug, or they'll, you know, like after on one of the call yesterday, there's Kristen's watching, hello there. You know, her daughter's often going, you know, Ilka, she wants me to watch something that she's doing, and so I always like say hello and watch her and say, oh wow, like look at you go, and yeah, but it's not like she to me, and this is my perception of course, but she likes that her mum does this for herself. There's not like with the tapping calls, I'm sure the children just know. They just know that it helps. And so children are never going to stop you from feeling joy. I've never ever had a client come to me and go, oh my God, my mother was just so happy all the time. Like that's never ever something that comes up. So we all just wanted our parents to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So it is really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And
it's powerful work if you choose to go there.
Yeah, it is. And again, we honour you if you've joined this group. If you're here and you've got to the end of this video, give us a like, because we'd really like more mums to see this video, and it helps lift our whatever the thing is on Facebook, and really be benefited. And I would love every mother of small children to watch Joe's video series. I really, really would, and I know there's many mums who've already seen it that would too. So if you've enjoyed this video, you know, put something in the comments. Encourage other people to have access to this. And thank you, Kristen, because I know you're always helping
sharing
us
our
and
stuff.
empowering us and supporting us, and we love it.
And this video,
So grateful.
so you can't share this outside the private group. You can invite friends into the group who may find this information beneficial. But this will also be on our Facebook business page, on IGTV and our YouTube channel, and you can share away from there.
Yes, yes. So thank you.
Thank
you for watching.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
See you again next Wednesday.
Okay.
And look out for links in the comments.
Yes, the links to the promo. Yeah, awesome.
Bye.